Songjin, a rising artist who dreams of becoming a famous singer, finds that life didn't turn out well for him. He's broke and jobless, but there's a little hope he's holding on to. A new show that could make him a professional if he wins. So Songjin collected every penny he had and searched for an apartment within his budget to practice. He found one, but it was worn out and completely uninhabitable. Since he had no choice, he was grateful for what he had, tried to see the positive side, and kept assuring himself that it's not that bad. Until he woke up to a woman screaming and crying. He was freaked out and thought she was a ghost. He ran out of the building. Having nowhere to go, he returned like a scaredy cat, and the voice was still there. So he asked her to show herself. And when he got no answer, he kept shouting that he would break the wall and free her soul. He did all of that, unaware that on the other side of the wall, there was just someone else. Her name is Ronnie, and she was laughing all night and didn't say a word just to see how absurd he could get. Until he was about to break the wall for real. At that moment, she told him to stop this stupidity because she can't take it any longer. At first, he thought the ghost was just messing with him, until she finally convinced him that she's actually a real person. It is just that the wall is so thin that they can literally hear each other breathe. That's why no one ever chose to live there. She seized the moment and told him to leave and get lost, as she was there first. However, Songjin ran out of options, and that was all he had. So he offered her a better idea. Why don't they make a schedule where they can switch and do their jobs on their own time? She refused and didn't even give him a chance to explain. After a long night of fighting, it was war from that point on, to see who would surrender and leave first. He kept playing his songs and making as much noise as he could. Of course, she won't stand still watching him win. She too is an artist who creates cartoon characters, so she used her machines too. Every night, she was ready with a new plan. Songjin wanted to give her a taste of her own medicine and used the ticking clock all day. She acted cool and unbothered until she had a mental breakdown. She finally agreed to his plan to set an alarm where each of them would switch every 4 hours. During that time, the other had to remain silent. It did work, and they started to be in harmony. However, when it was his turn, his friends came to visit. He apologized to her in advance because he knew how noisy they could be, and assured her that he will force them to leave before midnight. He tried his best to do so, but they kept drinking all night until they fell asleep there, giving Ronnie a headache, and she couldn't even sleep. The next morning, after they were all gone, Songjin felt so bad. He couldn't face Ronnie after what his friends had done. He thought she would never let him practice again, so he gathered up his courage and begged her to forgive him and let him practice in his time just for 2 days, until his audition. Then she can have the whole day for herself. She agreed, not because of his offer, but because last night, when he was drunk, he told her that he and his friends were in a band back in high school. He abandoned them to be a solo singer so that the band could become famous. But he failed them, so he needs to win this competition for them, not only for himself. Of course, Songjin didn't remember he said that, but she sympathized with him and let him practice as he wanted. She was even vibing to his music in silence. Anyway, Songjin was invited to a school reunion, where he met his ex. She invited him to her wedding, and he felt bad because he was the only one who had achieved nothing. He went home depressed and couldn't finish one song. When Ronnie asked him if he has given up on the competition, he told her what happened and that he felt like a loser. She gave him some pep talk, that he should be proud of what he does until he succeeds. It was really helpful as he practiced hard and went to the audition. He blew their minds and was promoted to the next round. He returned home excited and asked Ronnie to celebrate this wonderful news with him. They did. They spent the night talking and having fun with that wall between them. It was all good until Ronnie had another panic attack. She used to have them a lot because she used to work in a company and the CEO there stole her character and took the credit for it. So she hired a lawyer to get her copyrights back. But every time she gets a letter from the court, she panics. Anyway, at the final meeting, the judge gave her 50% of the revenue made through that character. The CEO was mad, as he wanted it all for himself, and kept getting on her nerves, calling her a drama queen. However, Ronnie was happy with the results, and insulted him, then left. Since she and Songjin became close, she told him the whole story. He wanted revenge on that CEO for what he had done to her, so he called his friends and went to the same gym as the CEO. They tricked him and embarrassed him in front of everyone. His video went viral, and he couldn't show his face in public anymore. Once Ronnie saw the video, she felt a sense of relief and knew it was Songjin behind it. So when he got home, she thanked him for it, and they spent another wonderful night together. He asked her to meet face to face this time, but she told him to wait until the audition. He agreed and told her that they are dating officially from that moment on. She was smiling happily and started to fall for him too. The next day, he took her on a date from the comfort of their own apartment. They used the maps to search for new locations. It was a pleasant imaginary date. They went to different places, ate together, and watched a movie. From that moment, they were a real couple who had never met. The next day, Ronnie got a call from the CEO. She went to meet him. He offered her her dream job. He told her to think about it. At that time, Songjin went to have lunch with his lawyer friend. By accident, he saw the copyright case between Ronnie and the CEO, and learned that if she agreed to work for him, she would lose all the copyrights to her characters. So, Songjin went to the CEO and confronted him directly. He couldn't stand a nasty person like him, and hit him hard. So the CEO called Ronnie to warn her that she shouldn't send her boyfriend to save her. Once she knew what happened, she waited for Songjin and was mad at him for getting involved. No matter how hard he warned her that this is a scam, she refused to listen and told him that they are no longer together. He needed to film a video about himself for the competition and couldn't focus while being next to her. So he left the apartment and slept at his friend's shop. He forgot the camera at home, so he sent his friend to get it instead. Ronnie took advantage of that and recorded her true feelings on camera through the wall, asking his friend to show it to him. She then went straight to the CEO, who thought she would gladly accept the deal. However, she knew he couldn't be trusted and turned his offer down. She humiliated him with a handmade character, mocking him, and left. At that time, the final day in the competition arrived. Luckily, Songjin heard Ronnie's recording before singing. She apologized for how she had treated him and encouraged him to sing from his heart and do his best, even if he didn't win. For the first time, he sang with great feeling, worry-free. The judges loved his emotions, but told him that he has many things to improve in his singing. At that moment, Songjin was satisfied and didn't wait for the results. He left the stage and ran to search for Ronnie. She too was running to the show to meet him. Once their eyes met, they immediately recognized each other and happily started their relationship. They broke the wall between them and celebrated their relationship with friends and family.